Also, this take that I think is bad. My speech at the Palestine Central Nation Affairs correspondence today in Yemen. Thank you for His Excellency Prime Minister Professor Abdul Aziz bin Habtoor of Yemen for inviting me to speak. Here's Jackson Hinkle Dink, former HasanAbi head, MAGA communist grifter, talking to Ansarullah.
Stand with the Yeminis and the Houthis. We understand that you have the unconditional right to resist the genocide that is ongoing in Gaza, especially by doing what you all have done, blockading the Red Sea.
Everybody mad at this needs to be mad at themselves. The Western left is so vacuous and disorganized that Hinkle is filling the void you left behind is so stupid. I'm sorry. I completely disagree with that. He's a grifter. This is what he does best. He knows exactly how to infiltrate these kinds of circles and present himself as an unconditional ally. What do you think? Like, there aren't people on the left who are even more popular than he is, let's be real, that have been advocating for Palestinian emancipation? No. I mean, I literally I interviewed a dude, a TikToker from Yemen fairly early on. It's not that. It's just that he is very good at infiltrating these circles. That's it. I don't think this is like because the left is vacuous or whatever the so I disagree with that. I'm also not shocked that it happened though, because, you know, his whole shit is just like boosting his profile by latching on to what he considers to be popular causes. Also saying the left is so vacuous and in shambles is like very seriously anti-materialist thinking. Thinking that the left is not vacuous or splintered as a consequence of like deliberate and very successful efforts of destroying any kind of leftist movement in a capitalist country, in the largest capitalist country. Wait, someone said, what makes you think he's a grifter? I don't know. Let's take a look. Here's an unrelated 1 minute and 49-second clip of Hinkle I'm going to drop in here for no particular reason.
There's a limit. It's like when you start flirting around with like Hitlerian stuff, you're going to kind of go down the path of facts like that, you know? We all know how it ended for Hitler.
Okay. What do you mean?
Well, I just don't think it's a good path to go down. Hitler, at the end of the war, he killed himself. He's a fat.
Allegedly.
Well, and he allegedly didn't burn the Transgender Institute because Nazis weren't all transgenders and gays, you know? I just think that I don't think it's smart to flirt with that stuff.
Wait, so you're saying Hitler was gay?
100%.
What the fuck?
100%. They were all transgenders and gays.
The Nazis?
Yes. That's why they burned that Hirschfeld Institute, whatever it's called.
Hirschfeld tried to start implementing transgenderism, and then they burned his books. And
It's just like two guys that have different opinions on the optics of defending Hitlerian politics here.
The doctors within Hirschfeld said that it was burned down because the Nazis had all of their private information in the institute because they were
That's why they burned it down. I thought they burned it down because they were trying to start.
The only source on record from within the hospital said they burned it because the Nazis were all going there. I mean, why would they not burn any other one in Germany? Why would they not attack?
This is so, I'm sorry. I gotta give them credit. This is the funniest and most creative way, I guess, do Holocaust/Nazi denialism. It's something that I've never heard before. He's saying that the Nazis were all trans and gay, and that's why they burned the largest like medical research conducted globally at the time on trans people, to cover up the evidence that they were all gay. That's awesome. This is not an uncommon claim about the Nazis, the gay part. I've fucking had not heard this before. Yeah, by the way, it is pretty funny to be like, yeah, the Nazis were bad, not because of the Holocaust, but because they were fake and gay. Oh, that's so sick. Transvestigating Hitler. Yeah. I mean, that's not awesome, but I get what you're talking about. Maybe I'm super brain broken, but I do think that's very funny. I mean, there were definitely gay Nazis, by the way. Yeah, Ernst Röhm. But like, it is hilarious to think that like the worst part about the Nazi stuff is that they were suspected of being gay. Like, that's the bad thing that they did. None of the other stuff. Trying to get people to stop being Nazis by telling them Hitler was woke. Oh, that's so awesome. No, you don't understand. He was vegan, and that's gay as fuck. Think about that. Like, how does this happen where you are to the right of Adolf Hitler? He was fake and gay and a leftist.
So you're saying Blitzkrieg was a bunch of fucking trans? Come on.
They lost. They lost.
They were pretty damn close to taking over the. I can't believe that a bunch of trannies and gay people were being able to take over the world.
Well, they're radicals. They're insane, but they're also funded by Anglo-Saxons, and you should never underestimate that. I mean, look at the Ukrainian military today. They're sending women. They're sending trannies. Like literally, spokesperson of the military is a tranny, and the Russian military is so.
What is happening? What the absolute fuck is going on here? I followed Hinkle at the start when he was still your fan. I was there when he started becoming MAGA communist. After the Russia invasion, he go full mode. He's the biggest grifter, but super manipulative. The sad part, he's going to even become bigger and more known. Shaking my head. I like that he's like, oh no, it's not that I don't believe you that the Nazis were all trans. It's that I don't believe trans people can do the blitzkrieg, which almost succeeded. My dad was ethnically cleansed out of the West Bank in 1967. But if the guy is pro-Palestine, I might have to switch sides. Yeah, so that's the thing. I do legitimately believe that this dude is like he has to be like some State Department trickery to like make to the Western world, make it look like to the Western world that he's like, this is the beacon of like leftist conversations or something. Like, I just don't know. I mean, he was an op for Russia for a while. That part is actually true. I think Hinkle is a Malpinoid spanking cult member. I don't know enough about him. And I don't, you don't got to show this, man. I have no defense for this. I don't. Okay. I'm cooked. It's real. This is not a fucking meme. God, I wish it was a meme, but it's not. This motherfucker was doing top of the hour ad break debates and shit in the chat. Like, that's how deep in the cut he was. Remember when you said the audience reflects the streamer? Yeah, I don't think he's an audience member now. I think he was probably fine back then with his takes. How did he become so well known in the last 3 years? I don't know. Maybe because when you grift to the fucking right, they celebrate you unconditionally. Hello, he is a walking, talking, permanent proof of that fundamental thing that I bring up all the time. If you want to grift, you grift to the right, dumb fucks. You don't grift to the fucking left. Absolutely no one fucking thinks that this guy's like a real leftist. He was a Jimmy Dore fan and he had him on a lot. He left once you shit on Jimmy Dore. I remember this very well. Yeah, you guys might be more aware of what the fuck happened, but I suspect, yeah, it was maybe when I started shitting on Jimmy Dore. It all started with the Jimmy Dore forced to vote shit. He even debated Uncle Sam, then it was all downhill. Oh, dude, that's so funny. Some people genuinely do think he's a serious individual / real leftist. Yeah, dude, your uncle in like Indonesia, maybe. He went on Fresh and Fat and lied and told him he knows you. Wait, what? Yet another case of a one-sided beef. Perm, so desperate for viewers, you're leeching off the HasanAbi Discord. Don't quit your day job, brother. Well, it turns out Gorbachev was wrong. Okay, so who's really owned here? He did quit his day job. And guess what happened? He's become very successful as a right-wing grifter. So sorry, Gorbachev. That's a L on you. Everyone who grifts to the left finds that the left has too many critical thinkers to make that happen. So after they crash and burn, they have their why I left the left and they tack far right. Is he the type of guy to try to talk sense into like the ones you mentioned earlier? Is he lost cause? No, he's 100% a lost cause because he never had a cause. His cause is him and just like promoting and uplifting himself. Bro, look at this conversation that took place, my man. Your theory that Hinkle is a Fed, not entirely unfounded. Jackson Hinkle attended big donor Republican meetups with some of the richest fascists in the U.S. and is likely a part of Tulsi Gabbard's U.S. Army PSYOP division, which can be found on her Wikipedia page. Seriously, you see an open Marxist-Leninist become the second most viewed individual on person on Twitter, and your reaction is to cast them out? Of what? You have nothing else going on. Yeah, dude. He's popping on Twitter. Every single person that like attacked me from the left has now completely dropped the leftist shtick. Like almost every single person. Think about that. Like there were so many of these guys that were like former Bernie people that just like lost their minds, it seemed. So many of them, they were like, Hasan, you're a fucking fake socialist, you fucking piece of shit. And then now they're all like straight up right wing. You just don't understand the Jewish sphere. These people have more loyalty and dedication in a single drop of their spit than we have ever had. It's just true. Yeah, I mean, I know. Jewish defenders are pretty loyal. Can you explain the Bernie bro alt-right weirdo pipeline? I'm still confused by that. It's very simply described as people who didn't do any of the reading, people who didn't understand the theory, people who didn't understand dialectical materialism, and people who simply thought, well, Bernie seems like an honest guy, and he's also an outsider, even though he's been in politics for a very long time. And that was very captivating for many, especially the policies that he was advocating for. Fucking who doesn't want healthcare? You know what I mean? then they started getting increasingly frustrated with the inability to make changes in American politics because this was the first introduction into American politics in general. Some of us know that being a leftist is about taking L's permanently in perpetuity, as like sometimes we marginally better our own living conditions or the living conditions of others. That's what being a real leftist is about. Taking fucking L's over and over and over again and overcoming those odds and sometimes seeing a little bit of progress. That's just the fucking reality. But many people don't like that because that sucks. You want to feel like you're winning. So then a lot of these guys were like, how the fuck could Bernie lose? And that like broke their brains a little bit. Then they realized like, well, okay, well, I kind of want to win. And these guys are outsiders on the other side too. Why do you think Jimmy Dore is like a fucking relentless right-winger now? Fascism is fool socialism because it is immaterial, vibes-based, a distribution of wealth to the in-group from their otherized group when they don't trust actual socialism. I think that too, yeah. Solid analysis with some grift sprinkled in by them, of course. What is this?
Okay. And when you say common good, we're talking about things that everyone uses. Banks, oil, gas, electric, etc. versus...
Yeah, I mean, like, communism isn't out here to say, like, if you make a phone, like, we're gonna make these like a public commodity or like a toothbrush or something.
Yeah.
That's not about that. Like, that's Hassan Piker. That's Hassan Piker's like, yes, we're gonna have publicly produced toothbrushes or something. Like, this guy's.
Huh. That's weird. Where did he saying that when he was doing top of the hour ad break debates in 2020?
Such a so. But it's true.
Bro, they're literally children. They get so giddy when someone says a slur. It's pretty funny. Doesn't being this right wing limit your growth, though? Shouldn't you be more centrist State Department aligned with liberal facade to be successful? No, because on independent rounds, one, it's much easier to grift to the right because you just say as unhinged shit that you can come up with and people will believe it, as like that audience is getting more and more unhinged every day. And it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to go through the regular channels to become like a liberal talking head. Because that area is the most esteemed position you can be in as a commentator. Think about it this way. Many of these like New York Times editorial board guys were like journalists for years. They had to fucking suck dick for like 20, 30 years until they became this like esteemed, revered figure. It takes a long fucking time to get to that position. So right-wing grifting is a shortcut, basically, especially because there's a lot of right-wing independent media outlets out there. And a lot of those right-wing media independent outlets will also collaborate with like traditional media outlets. So you don't just go on Fresh and Fat. You get to go on Tucker Carlson, which I think he actually literally went on. Hinkle is for you what all the other people who became fascists because Felix never liked or replied their attempts on Riff on Twitter are for Chapo. Yeah. So what ends up happening is when you go on like when you go on the right-wing slant and you start talking about how much you love Donald Trump, you go on these podcasts and then those podcasts inevitably lead you to go on Fox fucking News. Like the example I've always used is me versus Charlie Kirk. We started our careers around the same time. Charlie Kirk got famous because he wrote a fucking in high school, he wrote an article that was presented on Breitbart. Then he went to all of his daddy's like rich Republican friends and was like, can I start a lobbying organization to lobby, get this, high school and college student elections? And then after that, he was on Fox News immediately. And over the course of a couple years, he went from, having nothing to literally having Fox News appearances and a massive organization that was very well funded that still exists to this day, TPUSA. Donald Trump literally attended his events. Now, there is no alternative to that kind of trajectory on the actual left. Think about it. We start off around the same time. Barack Obama doesn't know who the fuck I am. He's not coming on to my fucking events. I don't ever get placements on MSNBC or CNN because right-wing is slanted. Right-wing loves funding independent sources and also immediately elevating them. There's no such equivalent on the left.
No real communist that claims to be a communist like Hassan Piker will ever debate any of us because it counters with everything they've ever been told or taught or whatever. I mean, look at China. They ban all gay stuff. They ban all LGBTQ media. In all these countries, communist countries, they ban...
Literally the most famous woman in China is a trans woman. Like, straight up. I'm literally reading a Chinese gay web novel with you in the background as noise. Yeah, what does he have to say about Cuba? Cuba is so fucking woke socially. Like, literally more socially progressive than fucking America is by wide ass margins too. Also, overall, like, social policies are literally completely fucking, the social policies are completely irrelevant. It's literally just distractions. Like, if you are actually interested in dialectical thinking, you should know that. You should literally be like, yeah, this social policy shit is just a simple distraction as capital owners fucking squeeze every ounce of fucking surplus labor value from you as we fight left and right when we should be united as workers. The fuck do you mean? But again, this guy's not a fucking socialist nor a communist. He's not anything. He's just a grifter. Like, anybody that immediately goes, what about social safety net, or not social safety nets? What about social policies in China? You know who says that? Liberals do, you dumb fuck. You're on the other side of that coin. You're literally doing the China is based for actually being anti-gay. Liberals are going, China sucks for being anti-gay. That's straight up two sides of the same fucking coin.
Communism is conservative at its core.
It is, yeah.
And it focuses on actually
It is, yeah. So why don't you like it then, dumb fuck? It is, yeah. It's conservative.
help. What do I think the solution is to all this trans ideology being pushed in the United States right now? I mean, I think we have to look at...
Listen, bro, you can't take a position against HRT while you've done steroids, okay? The fuck out of here, bro. What do you mean? He's like, oh yeah, I hate trans ideology being pushed on us. Also, I did steroids, so now I look like I'm 37, even though I'm like 22. That's the other really funny part about Jackson Hinkle is that he is like shockingly young. For how insanely old he looks, he is shockingly young.
Okay, so you would say communism and socialism is essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe he
difference.
calls himself like a social democrat or something.
People
like,
make fun of him, call him a champagne socialist.
Yeah, well, I think the reason why is because he's just such a faggot, and all he does is just sit around and he watches OnlyFans girls and stuff. Like he brings on all these ugly, like.
Yeah, me on the other hand, dude, I'm fucking hanging out with dudes who definitely don't bring on OnlyFans girls onto their broadcast. Bro, not an ounce of self-reflection from either of these guys, by the way.
You should obey him, bro.
I'd love to. What if we set it up here? I mean, that'd be crazy, but he'll never do it.
Yeah, he won't do it.
Oh, he's a coward. He won't do it.
He's
He'll never
scared.
do it.
He's scared.
I'm
He
scared.
won't do it.
I'm terrified of the profound intellect that these guys bring to the table.
Told him I'd be happy to debate dating dynamics with him because he just doesn't understand what the fuck the world is like.
Yeah, dude, I don't understand dating dynamics. Well, good thing Ethan did debate him and then demonstrated that he is a abject failure on those dynamics. Remember, yes, this guy knows what a dankies is, okay? Just don't forget that. He has typed it in the chat. That man has typed dankies, ad break dankies in the chat. And now he's over here being like, Hasan is a F word.
Hassan Piker, Stephen O'Bonnell, Destiny, whatever the fuck his name is. They're dating women. First of all, Stephen, Destiny, and Hassan, they sit here and they come on your show, they come on my show and they say, Jackson, you know, your politics are all wrong. You should focus on this. You got it all wrong. It's like, why don't you get your...
Why is he fantasizing about us having conversations? Also, I thought I was dating men. Am I gay or am I dating women? What's happening? Well, I am dating women. Your mom. And we're both very disappointed in you, Jackson.
own house in order? You know, your wife, your girlfriend is getting fucked by other men right now, and you're going to try to tell me... You're going to
Okay, I think that's more of a diss on O'Bungler.
try to tell me that I'm wrong about something? Your girlfriend's across town getting fucked by some other dude.
BBC
Okay.
gang.
What the fuck? Get out of here.
You guys...
Yeah, we can debate, but get your own house in order. Get, the guy's dick out of your wife. You know, it's like,
Oh my God.
it's sick. It's sick. Find God.
Awesome. I mean, I'm here for the Bonarelli slander. Hinkle got cucked by Jonah Hill. I know. Interesting, he didn't use the cuck jokes to Sneako. Yeah, because he was trying to get him to not be a Hitler supporter and be a supporter of something like Hitler plus, I guess. Hitler, but not gay. He's like, listen, Sneako, you got to stop with this Hitler stuff because he's gay. You need like a new hero it's just like Hitler, but not gay, but straight instead. I mean, dude, that kind of stuff is fascinating, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. There is like a lot of, maybe it's because I'm so brain broken. Sneako, another ex-HasanAbi head, by the way. I don't know what is wrong with these motherfuckers, man? Why do I have so many one-sided beefs with people? I don't even know. Like, half the time I only learn about this afterwards. Just like, it makes me sad. Could have saved him.